What is up, everybody? So they buffed Siegfried for some fucking reason, but I'll take it. I tell ya, he's really good now. He already was a pretty solid 4-star, but it's kind of okay. So I like one of the buffs they gave him, just because it makes him like better if he's not fighting a dragon, which that's the attack up they gave him. I don't really like them giving him battery because they give everyone battery now. Like, it's not even fun anymore. It's like you're not. Mordred used to be really unique. Anyone remember that? Remember that way back in the day where Mordred was like unique as fuck because there really weren't sabers that had self-battery, and then Mordred had self-battery and she still had an upgraded NP and a buff strap. Like, yeah, it's nice. Now it's like, who doesn't have a fucking battery, right? It's just battery, 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 battery. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, though, regardless of how, you know, samey it is for everyone to get a battery now, Siegfried is so strong now, and if you're fighting a dragon, it's really ridiculous. He's also rated up right now in case you want him, but I'm pretty sure mine is already in P5, although I guess you don't, maybe not. Let me see, what is my Siegfried? I know you don't get a lot of coins one way or the other, but let's see. Yeah, he's in P5. Wow, he's in P5, and I had enough coins to get one passive. That is really stupid. But yeah, we'll fight Richard and all that. But we gotta actually do the buff quest. So yeah, here's the one. All right, let's bust out an apple here. Use a blue one. I've used I made apples today and used up my AP, which was a mistake. I kind of forgot that I wanted to stream. So yeah, really tactical there. Let's see if Siegfried can solo his buff quest. Although maybe we will save that because we're probably going to use him a crap load this stream. So in the meantime, we'll use someone else. Just have some variety. Let's go Mordred. We were just talking about Mordred, so why not? All right. Also, she's about to get Bond 12, I think. Yeah, 1,000 away. That's nice. Wait, did they buff Sigurd too? If they did, I didn't notice that. Unless you mean, oh, you mean the one a while ago? Yeah, I got that one. But to say, he really doesn't need a buff. Alright. If I would actually bother to log in my ults every day, I'd have a ridiculous amount of apples, but I only log on them every once in a while, so I miss out on a bunch. Yeah, Sigurd's last buff was kind of meh, but his buff before that was really good, and I think he's fine since then, so it's not really necessary. But yeah, FGO is getting way too obsessed with battery, and I don't think they even realize how foolish this is, because the more they do it, the more they trap themselves into they just have to give everyone battery. And it's just, they're playing into the power creep. It's because of Castoria. I mean, that's what it is. It's because of Castoria and Waver, Nero Bride, units like that. Really, Nero Bride actually was a big part of the problem, is when they buffed Nero Bride. And the reason that was dumb, it's not because Nero Bride is like as broken as Castoria or anything. It's because it's like they saw it as what Nero Bride was before as not good enough. And so they had to at least be as good as, you know, Nero Bride after the buff, and that was too good. And so now everything is like that. Like, everything has to be like that. Everything has to be super fast. Everything has to be able to spam their NP. Everything has to be able to NP turn 1. And if you can't do that, then like, what's the point of the unit? Like, that's how they're seeing it now, and I don't think that's good. Yeah, I do think part of it is if they can't 3-turn, they're trash. Because that's all people want to do. Like, if this unit, and the thing is, you can 3-turn with a lot of units that are actually not good for 3-turning, is just because you can overcompensate with supports or craft essences and things like that. But they're like, if this unit doesn't do something specific to help me 3-turn, then why would I ever use it? And the thing is, I don't even think that many players think that way. I just think the whales do, the people on Twitter do, that kind of stuff. I think the way the average person plays, like, they like the story, they like using their favorite units, they like going burr from time to time. And sure, sometimes they'll put some effort into farming, but I don't think the average player cares that much. I think the average player just wants to use their favorite units. And sure, that just because of that, that doesn't mean you want to make a bunch of units crap and it's okay to make units pointlessly like weak, or like they're just like another unit but worse in every way. You don't want that's bad, right? You should buff things like that. But I'd be more interested in them making fun units and unique units and interesting stuff, more so than just making sure it's good for 3-turning, because if anything, I think the game needs to try to get away from 3-turning and not double down on it. I think 3-turning has actually been pretty bad for the game, because it's very repetitive. Wait, was Summer Painted seriously the last unit that didn't have battery? Because that was a while ago. And what's scary too is not only has so many of the new units had battery skills, but they keep buffing old units to have battery skills. I mean, the game is just throwing battery everywhere at this point. And you know what they're probably gonna do? Like, I always complain about the other 3-star Lancers being bad. If they ever get around to buffing Deermid, they're just gonna give him a battery too. Right? They're not gonna do more than that. They're not gonna, you know, think, hey, what makes Deermid interesting, right? What can we do to kind of, you know, play off of his lore or his abilities and stuff? And they're like, nope, just give him a battery. Doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Just fuck it. Okay, well, might as well use this so I don't die. Actually, I should probably kill this thing with crits. Not that my crit chance is the best here, but good work. 60, 30, 80. And here we go, not critting. Okay, there we go. Just needed the 1. But yeah, Siegfried did get an attack up. And it's not like no unit should have battery, but when everyone has it, no one does. That's the thing. When everyone has it, no one does. And then the people that actually don't have it, then you just suck. But honestly, I just don't think they know how to balance around a lot of the power creep units. Like, some of the power creep units are just so good, and they can just NP so often. They don't know how to make units that are going to be like playable in their eyes, just in that, like the mainstream people or the meta people. And in some ways, they're probably right. I mean, it is hard to make units good when you have all this power creep nonsense. That's why you make sure you don't make all this fucking power creep nonsense, and why you nerf things. Like, I don't think FGO needs to nerf things very often and not very hard. Like, even Castoria. It's fine if Castoria is the best, right? And if they want Castoria to be the best unit in the game, that's fine. You can nerf her and have her still be the best unit in the game. Right? But there should just never be a unit that's that good. Like, it's really weird to me that so many people don't understand why, like, nerfing is necessary. Has anyone here actually, like, played Yu-Gi-Oh! Over the years? Not just recently? Like, does anyone know what I'm talking about from, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! From its beginning days to where it is now? And just how unbelievably convoluted and, like, power creep on top of power creep on top of power, or, like, how many problems are there and, like, how unfixable it is? Right? If you keep letting power creep run rampant, you basically have your game's meta and basic gameplay evolve into something that is unrecognizable to what the game was supposed to be, right? And I'm worried that's happening to FGO, where like the meta is getting so like weird and so loopy and just so like fundamentally not what the game was designed to be. You know, first of all, it makes a very newbie, like unfriendly to newbies, right? It's very newbie unfriendly. That's not good. It also normally just makes a really bizarre game that no one actually wanted in the first place. And in FGO's case, it's just way too simple, right? It's like, oh man, you're MPing over and over and over and over again. So fun. Yeah, it's certainly not unique to Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just a really obvious example of power creep gone mad. I guess I NP this. Do I do my first kill? Probably not, and if they live, it's not actually that big of a deal. I'd actually preferred if the 42k one lived and like 41k one lives and I kill it with the art art, and then my next turn I can make stars. Not that this stage is hard enough for that to really matter, but perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. See, now I get to go in the final wave with my MP and a bunch of stars. Shame I don't have command codes equipped for Star Bomb. I say a bunch of stars, but it's probably just going to be a few, but we'll take what we can get. That's plenty. Yeah, it's true, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has ban lists and stuff, but it doesn't matter. I mean, there's so much power creep in that game. You'd have to ban like thousands of cards if you wanted to like really change the way the game plays. Because like even if you, I don't even know what the current meta in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, I don't keep track, but like even if you banned all the stuff that's making the current meta the way that it is, you're just gonna devolve into the previous power creepy meta that was already ridiculous, right? Like it's so much ridiculous on top of ridiculous on top of ridiculous. There's no fixing that game. Like there's absolutely no fixing that game. And like FGO is getting to that point now. Even if they wanted to start nerfing a few things, it's all FGO at this point is almost like there's no way it's not going to be ridiculous, right? Like there's no way it's not going to be loopy and NP, right? Well, let's see if that gave... I guess Mordred already has all of her passives, I think. So those extra coins really don't matter unless I'm going to go to 120, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. I didn't actually get all mine stuff there. I don't know why I waited so long to collect those. Kinda nice to be up to about 800 SQ again, though. Okay, was that the final stage? No, I think we got one more for Siegfried. And she has 210, but I've got all 3, so it doesn't matter. Well, hey, if I ever wanted to go to 120. The issue isn't really the coins or the grails, because eventually you'll have enough grails just from doing the main story and all that. The issue is I don't really want to grind that again. Oh my god. Why does Phantom of the Opera have fucking Fergus's Bond CE? Also 888, by the way. Slightly scuffed. Okay, I think Edmund. Let's just be lame and use a meta setup here. Because Edmund's about to get Bond 11. Well, I don't know about, but getting there. Okay, I guess Arthur needs Bond. 300k. How's Hercules doing here? Not the best. That's a ways to go. I need like a super farmy event. Oh, it's his Valentine's CE. Yeah, whatever. Well, the thing about his first skill going to rank 10 is the cooldown gets lower. What's really fucked up is rank 9. If I remember correctly, rank 9 is exactly the same as rank 8. I know one of his skills is like that, where one of its ranks doesn't do anything. But it still takes a bunch of mats and shit like that. Why did I bring Castoria? What am I doing here? Well, it'll probably work regardless. Did I bring a good CE or MC? Yeah, kind of. Okay. Bit of a whoops on that one. He never lives 5 turns. Yeah, we can still loop here. Oh, this is not even a 3-1. Yeah, like where you're short on battery, you can just use this. Oh, hi, Achilles. Oh, this must be because, APOC, right? Siegfried fights Achilles and APOC, that's why we did this. The other ones didn't seem to really have a theme. Achilles, please don't, invulnerability, because I just used my Pierce invulnerability. Or we might be able to just kill him. Yeah, I think we can kill him. We're pretty buffed up there. He failed a 78 turn run. Oh my. Was that like a stall setup against Zeus? Okay, let's put this buff to good use now. We'll do like a solo, and we'll do some buff stacking. We should fight Lobo, because that's single target, no counter class, also not a dragon, but we could turn him into a dragon. No, it's Siegfried that fights Achilles. With Frankenstein and all that. Hey, Arjuna. My NP2 Moriarty is level 110 and has one skill. Which Moriarty, though? There's a real difference here. You know, I'm actually tempted to throw summon tickets at Siegfried, even though my Siegfried is in P5. But I wouldn't want Sherlock at all. It's just, I could get coup and more Siegfried coins. Siegfried gets more than the battery. He also gets an attack up. And also the battery is, it's not just battery, right? Like battery is very good. But yeah, he gets an attack buff as well. I really wish I hadn't made those apples today. Just wasting stems. I just kind of absent-mindedly did it. I know, this is what coins have brought us to. If I didn't need coup coins, I wouldn't do it. But the fact that I can get coup coins always makes me want to roll like all of the time. I want them to just add something that I really, really want, like Henry V, Red Baron, Butch Cassidy, really any gunslinger I'd be happy with. You know, if they could do something like that and I could get coup while I'm at it, right, that'd be the ideal situation. I would like them to add something that I want so much on my main, I go down to 0 SQ. Like, I haven't done that in a very long time, but that would be kind of nice, because that would give me the maximum chance at coup coins and whatnot. But they'd have to add something that I really, really liked. Because normally I just go down to like a low amount of SQ, not 0. Oh, if they added a 3-star I really wanted, though, I'd probably get them before I went down to 0, so even though 3-star rate-ups can be, you know, a pain in the butt, in the long run, it's not that hard to get them to NP5, even if you do get bad luck. Like, a 3-star that goes bad is like a 4-star that goes well, right? Like, so it's not that big of a deal, generally. That being said, they really should add safety nets to, everything. Like, if you roll enough, you should be guaranteed to get stuff. Yeah, if they had Green Knight, you guys don't even know, man. Like, if I failed to get NP5 Green Knight, I would actually probably spend a little bit of money. I wouldn't spend a lot, but I'd probably spend a little bit. I don't really put any money into this game, so I don't, you know, how do I put this? You're free to play games have to make money somehow, right? So it's not like I think it's wrong to spend money on them. But it comes down to if the business model seems fair or reasonable, right? If you have to gamble, I don't like it, and that kind of stuff. Or if it's pay to win. But I really don't think FGO is pay to win. I talked about that a few streams ago. I need Arash. What am I doing here? The lad, case scope. Oh, let's go command codes. Now, my Siegfried's only level 90, but that is better than nothing. Who knows, maybe I'll grail him to 100 someday. I mean, if we give out enough grails, I'll do it. It's just... I've got quite a few units to worry about at the minute. Alright. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Let me think. Heal boost on art card seems good. Yeah, I know, Diablo Immortal is a mess. Some scummy stuff over there. I really do want to know, though, if you can beat all of the boss fights and do all of the content without spending money, but the thing is, most people wouldn't say that matters, because the objective in a game like Diablo is different than a lot of other games. Like, the objective of a Diablo game is to get loot, and to, you know, just be on that treadmill all the time, which actually makes me not like those kinds of games, but, you know, they've kind of put something in the way of the loot treadmill, and that's the money, so... I'm not really sure what to do here. Maybe heal on Buster, that's kind of strange, but I don't see how I could make it work on Art. Because the thing is, yeah, I know you... okay, so... I know it's possible to max out your character in Diablo Immortal, but yeah, it'll take years. And the thing is, you probably don't need to max out a character, though, in order to, like, accomplish a lot. That's kind of my point. But, you know, the objective of Diablo is more about maxing out your character, so that is kind of the issue. And, like, even in FGO, you can max out characters without spending a penny very easily. I mean, very easily. So FGO definitely does things a lot differently. Now, you know, FGO 2, cross your fingers, because I'm not sure that one will end up as well. I'm sure the next Fate game, though, is not going to be called FGO 2. It'll just be named something really different, because they want you to have to acquire all the characters again. And if you named it FGO 2, people would feel like they're owed their characters from the past, which they wouldn't give it to you anyway. So I could just do crit damage, but I could do the Anti-Saber one. That's just 20%. That seems good enough. Wait, no, that's the art card. Well, actually, it's not terrible on the art card, but hold on. I don't see me... Maybe Star Bomb on art, actually. Yeah, I'm okay with Star Bomb on art. It results in 1 extra crit. I think that's better. Especially with NP gain, like an art crit. And then quick card... Maybe just Star Bomb again. FGO 2, Gacha Boogaloo. I wonder if it wouldn't even be a Gacha game, but I think it would be. Like the unless like by the time it happens, there's like legislation is hit that makes those games less profitable. But almost everything is becoming a Gacha these days. Okay. Anniversary Blonde seems good when you're wanting to show off big damage, but because our first skill is so good now, you just want to get it back sooner, I think. I could see them doing, though, a game like Genshin Impact. Not exactly like Genshin Impact, but something in that kind of style. I could see that happening. And if they gave it like an actually good combat system, I wouldn't mind, to be honest, but they're gonna add a gear grind and all that stuff, though, which that I'm not happy about. I hate that in those games. It makes me not want to play them. It just makes them so much less fun. Okay, well, with an opening hand like this, I actually wish we had... Oh, I should not give myself starting NP, because Siegfried now has battery, and we've got his starting NP passive. There's just no reason to have starting NP on him now. It's just so easy to get your NP. So we should go with long-term CE. Thankfully, Golden Sumo being abnormally good and all that is still a good long-term CE, because 15% attack is really good. But, by the way, chat, I had a YouTube comment where when I had one of my, you know, Golden Sumo moments, he didn't really get it, it was a meme, but he was legitimately arguing that Golden Sumo is not that good, which also he's just wrong about. You know, Golden Sumo memes aside, it is that good, right? And like his logic of why it's not good made no sense. But it was just funny seeing someone actually try to be like, yeah, Golden Sumo's not that good. When it is. But that being said, Chad, it gives me a really good opportunity to talk about how good it actually is, because he was saying, like, in a solo, you should just want a gut CE. The thing about a gut CE is it doesn't do anything for almost the entire stage until it procs, and it just does one thing. Right, yeah, it might have a side effect, but that's normally fairly weak. Nothing compared to Golden Sumo's 15% attack up, which makes all your normal attacks better, all your crits better, all your NPs better, even makes your extra attack better. And in a solo, because he was talking about solo specifically, he wasn't talking about team gameplay. In a solo, having a 15% attack up is just, that's so much value. Let's say the unit lives for 10 turns. That's 15% on every single action you did, including the extra attack, I'll remind you. Which is that's way more than the one turn. Like, yeah, you live one turn longer with the gut CE, but those other turns being 15% stronger, especially the extra attack, you know, each action being 15% stronger, in total equals out more than an extra turn. And then you also get the starting NP. So, yeah, it's really good. It should be nerfed. Yeah, I unironically talked about why, like, Golden Sumo is really good, but it doesn't need to be nerfed because it is so, like, baseline, and all the things that are almost as good as it or slightly better than it are just so similar to it, it doesn't really matter. Or it's not like, it really is not like Caster or Artoria. Like, even though on the surface these seem similar, ultimately they're not. Necromancy is the strongest CE, and it is also the worst CE. Alright, I want as many stars as possible. Unfortunately, I can't really make any stars this turn, so I'll just do that. Alright, Siegfried, let's see what you got. I guess I'm gonna have to wait to cast his first skill, because I don't want to waste the batteries, which again is why I need to give him a non-starting TCE, because I'd like to have it applied right at the start so I get my attack up, but I'll have to do it after. We're gonna have to do this again though, I think that's a... Unless I want to just throw the battery away. I don't think I want to throw the battery away. The thing is, I want to do art, but I have Buster up, so if there's ever a time not to do art up, this is it. Then I waste my heal as well. Fuck it, I'm gonna do art. We're actually weaker right now than how we would be on a normal run. Like, if it was before Siegfried's buff, I would have cast my first skill, and we'd have double NP gain buff for my NP and first skill, and that art up would be getting a huge boost. For now, we're not getting that, but we'll make up for that with the battery next turn. Actually, Golden Sumo is absolutely not good in, just good in solos. That's, like, actually, funny enough, a lot of people actually argue the opposite, because starting NP is so good in a team setting. And again, in a solo, funnily enough, it depends on the unit. It really does depend on the unit. But in a solo, sometimes you can actually manipulate your deck usage so you don't need attack up. Because you might be doing BBB, 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 right? So then Buster up is better because you're just doing so many Busters. Or you're doing, you know, C blue, press blue, or whatever. So if anything, actually, in solos, it can be less good. Even though applying to the extra attack is awesome. If you are a unit that is always using the same color over and over again, you're probably better off using something else. But there are a lot of units that mix up their deck, and they're like, you know, doing Buster, Art, and then they're doing BBB, and then they're doing, you know, like BQA, stuff like that. And then those units really want attack up. Now, in team play, you can't manipulate your deck like that, right? Even if you're a Buster unit, you're not going to be doing BBB all the time. You're going to do your quick and your art card, even if you don't. Like, there are some units that basically only want to click their art cards. But when they don't have anything but like a Buster and a quick, you're going to use it anyway, right? And so attack up is nice because they're still better. And then also the NP is better. And then also a lot of CEs that people like to use have crit up on them. Which is nice, but the thing is, every single time you don't crit, you're basically going into debt, right? Where if it's attack up, no matter what, this is why Sumo's good. No matter what you choose to do with the unit, it gives you a benefit. And then starting NP is just super, super good. Now, I've always said, and I stand by this, it's not like Golden Sumo is so good that, like, it's that big of a difference between, like, if you're a Buster unit using Aerial Drive, or like an art unit using Painting Summer, or the Virtuous CE, or the a quick unit using the Christmas quick up one that I don't know the name of, right? The difference is, you know, it's like whatever. Maybe it's a little bit better, maybe it's a little bit worse. It just doesn't matter that much. But yeah, if anything in solos, it's less good just because depending on the style of unit. Like in solos, it's better for some units like Ku, but then other units like Hercules or something like that, it's worse because you're not going to be doing your other deck stuff. But no, there's it's not a meme. Like attack up is really good on a Craft Essence, and that's why it's one of the rarest effects they've ever done. Have you noticed they give out art up like it's candy, Buster up like it's candy, quick up like it's candy, NP gain up like it's candy. They would do almost every effect in the game frequently, except for attack up. And it's because it's just too good. It's just LOL, you can use it on everything in any circumstance, no matter what you're doing. So it's actually kind of good that they don't add it very often because it's just too much value for like one craft essence. So they want you leveling different craft essences and switching them around and that kind of stuff. Okay, so there are debuffs here, but I can get it with Atlas, but I'd actually overheal right now, so I don't think I need to do that. Alright, we do this, there's our little attack up, that's the new effect there. You still get the NP gain up. So you can give yourself battery, NP gain up, and attack up, which is kind of nuts. Okay, so... I guess I just heal with this, and then do Art. I don't think I need to do the heal boost before it. It shouldn't make that big of a difference. Alright, now we can NP again for our attack up. We're not going to have the Buster up, which is a little disappointing, but it is nice that we get that defense up. For the dragon damage. It's not just doing more damage ourselves. Now next turn I can do this, but I think it's better to just use it now. So I guess Art again, and then maybe Quick Art next turn actually. Now we're gonna have triple NP gain up for this one turn. Sadly, it's only the one turn, but that's something. That's not bad for not having our third skill activated. Well, we've got the dragon aspect of it activated, but not the rest of it. 88k at neutral when you're AoE. Like if that was single target, you'd kind of expect that, but for AoE, that's actually quite good. Okay, I guess we don't use that yet. So I want my NP over everything. But our Quick Art might be overkill, because we still have double NP gain up. We'll do it to be safe. Besides, it lets me make stars. Now, I want to do this. Next turn, I want to do Buster. So I'd like to do the heal boost. So I guess I put Quick in the middle. So I don't heal boost the baby heal. That kind of sucks, though. I make less stars. And, if we're going to crit on an NP turn, this is it. Banned. I tried to make sure I didn't accidentally ban Say there. I had to make sure I didn't accidentally nuke him for good. That'd have been the worst. Alright, let's see. Oh fuck, we don't have the attack up anymore. Man, we just can't line it up right now. There's no getting that optimal turn where we get to do everything. 20% damage versus 10% crit rate. Probably the 20% damage. Or we do the heal boost. I think we do the heal boost because it's a 60% crit. And then healing for 2000 is pretty swell, even though we waste some of the Buster up. This is definitely not an optimal run, just because of the, the issues we made at the beginning and such. Craft Essence might not be the best pick. Man, I want to see that with our other buffs activated. Okay, I like that. The main issue Siegfried has here is that he doesn't have any hard survival. Okay, now I think... Okay, we definitely cast this. But I kinda... Yeah, I think we don't heal. We need the heal boost now. I think it's worth it to wait one turn to get the heal boost. So... I'd love to do my quick card. I'm gonna get my NP no matter what, but... Now, the quick card's actually better than the art card. Yes. Because it also has Star Bomb on it. One less star, but then you're using a quick card, so that makes up for it. turns of defense up is going into the void there. Okay, next turn I want to heal with the mystic code, with the command code. So we do this. This is kind of a fun gameplay loop he's got here. I'm really mixing up which cards I'm doing, and I'm actually like having to be pretty smart with my rotation between my skills and my command codes. That's actually rather fun. He's actually just got... Siegfried's kit just synergizes with command codes in a way that's fairly fun, where you're not being super repetitive, so I rather like that. It's kind of lucky like that. Some units have very brain-dead gameplay no matter what you do. I tell you though, if we had a hard survival skill, it would be insane. Because we're pretty low on gas now. Alright, we want the heal boost, so I think we do... Can I get away Buster? Art Buster. The last turn of our attack up, so yeah, I guess that's alright. It's... The thing is, if I do an NP gain combo, I can NP next turn. But I guess I don't really want to NP next turn, because there's 2 turns on this. Yeah, we'll do this. Besides, living is good. Because unfortunately, that's like all of our gas for survival. We have to live now long enough to get our 3rd skill back and just do a really optimal go burr turn. So I think we want to make as many stars as possible. Heal boost would be nice here for like the baby heal, but I think we want to make as many stars as we can. And then we want to do a really big turn coming up here. I need to win now. I mean, I don't think they're gonna buff his 2nd skill, because although a lot of people find skills like this to be too vanilla, his is one of the best ones in the game because the base heal is so high. Where a lot of the other disengages have a very baby heal, and then it's mainly the debuff clear, and then people are like, well, if there's no debuff, then who cares, right? But I mean, maybe they do, right? Some units they just buff and buff and buff and buff and buff, like Emiya and stuff. So maybe they would buff it, but I doubt they're gonna buff Siegfried again anytime soon. I think they're pretty content. Like he already was in good shape, and then this last buff is just the icing on the cake. So I don't see them buffing anytime soon. Now Ku's, they probably will buff at some point because the heal is really baby, so it really only is there for the debuff clear, and Ku is just so popular. My thing is, if you're gonna buff Ku's disengage, for the love of God, buff Dear Mid. You cannot buff Ku 3 times in a row without buffing Dear Mid once, right? Because Dear Mid did get buffed, but it was before Ku ever got buffed, right? So Dear Mid got his MP buff, and then he was never touched again. And then even with that, Ku was better than him. And then they buffed Ku twice, right? So Ku is better than him, and then got buffed 2 times. So what, you're gonna buff Ku again? Right, like that's absolutely ridiculous. And Dear Mid's popular too, by the way. Like he's not as popular as Ku, obviously, but like it's really silly how they just ignored Dear Mid for like 1,000 years, and it's just like, oh, Saber to Dear Mid, just Dear who? But yeah, ever since Saber Dear Mid, it feels like they're just kind of ignoring him. Yeah, the Dear Mud. Okay, time to go burr. I'm not sure we have quite enough damage here, but we got a little bit of health. His next NP kills us though, so he has to die by then. So this is definitely a Buster turn. So I'm not even going to heal boost my next heal, but I need as much damage as possible. So if we lose, it's going to be like just barely, but I'm sure we'll win if one, you have a good run, or I bring the right like setup. I think we could get away with a more long-term CE. 100k though, that's still pretty nice. That leaves him with a lot still. Although I just remembered, we get our 30% defense buff, so we're probably not dying for a second here. Oh, yeah, we're probably gonna win next turn. As long as I get my NP next turn with my battery, we're gonna win. I don't think I even bother to heal. The only reason I would heal is if I think he like is gonna triple crit me. But I could at least heal boost this thing. Okay, that might not have been the right call, because yeah, we would have needed like Merlin for that to work. Whoops! I may have just thrown. I mean, we might win regardless of that, but there was no point going for NT gain, because yeah, 91%. If I had Merlin, that would have worked, but I should have just done damage. Because if I had done damage last turn, and then did full damage this turn, he would definitely be dead. But we might kill him here. We'll see. Damn it. Nope, almost like crit. So I lost that for myself. Siegfried had what it took. We just made a mistake there. I should have done damage twice in a row. We still would have won though if we had gotten lucky at the end. Overestimated my NP gain there, because I didn't have the NP gain buff from the first skill yet, so the NP gain wasn't as good. Okay, so the question is, Golden Sumo might still be the best craft essence for us, simply because it's level 100. Like, our other alternatives might just not be leveled enough to be worth it. Because honestly, what Siegfried would probably want is a long-term buster up type thing. I mean, obviously Yang CE, but like no shit we're gonna win with Yang CE. That's kind of the thing though, that's kind of why it sucks that I don't use Yang CE very often, because Yang CE is my long-term CE. That's the thing, Yang CE is it's just insanely good if you don't need starting NP. But I don't really have anything, because there's this, but the effect on this is quite weak, and the one turn from Guts is not that good. So yeah, I don't know if I really have, because see, for Quick I'm working on Imaginary Round, and then like Formal Craft is probably the best of like the vanilla types, and the Buster Up one is the worst. What else is there though? I guess there is the Canis CD, not Canith CD, the Canis CD, but it's on level 41, but that actually would be okay for him, a few extra crits here and there. Yeah, wow, I really don't have much. It really is Yang CE or Bust, but Yang CE is just too good. Like, I mean, of course we're gonna win if we use that. But I guess we just stick with Golden Sumo then. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on something. Because, like, this is okay at 80, and then I could get, like, Formal Craft to 80. And my Buster people, I don't know, maybe, it's either Canis CD, or it's, like, I don't like this. A lot of people act like this is amazing. I don't think this is that good, because unless you're critting, like, all of the time, it's not really that good. Where at that point, even Limit Over Zero could be better. No, I wouldn't use Pharaoh's Chocolate even if I had it, because most people don't have it. That's the point. Yeah, see, the problem is with a lot of the CEs, they're only good if they're maxed, and they're not good enough often enough for you to want to max them. So it just, that's again, I'm not memeing. That's why Golden Sumo is so good, is because it is such a safe bet. Right? It's obviously good for like farming and that kind of stuff, right? And it can be used for farming on an art unit, a buster unit, or a quick unit. But then if you are doing like raw value stuff, even if it's not the best pick, because like right now Golden Sumo is not the best pick, but it's not that far off. The other things I could bring, if they happen to be level 100, would only do a bit better. Right? They're not, and it's not really worth it a lot of the time, at least early on in an account, to level those other CEs. Because they're only a little bit better and only occasionally, and only on specific units, right? Like Formal Craft is only going to be better on an art unit, right? Well, what if you're not using an art unit? Then you just leveled it for nothing, right? There's no world where you level, yeah, it sucks. If we had our first passive, yeah, that would help, because we're extra attacking so much, but I don't have the coins for it, so. Lazy streamer. So, let's see though. So he's 85k away, and I think that these spawn ranks I don't give a lot. It'd be pretty hard for me to get it. You know what though? I am going to throw those summon tickets at Siegfried, because I do like Siegfried. And if I get coup out of this, then I'm really going to be happy, so. Like, no joke. What I want to see here more than anything, more than any gold. I don't want to see a gold at all. There's no golds I really want right now, unless it's like some weird spook that I'm not thinking of. But I don't want any fucking golds. I really just want Siegfried or Ku, right? I absolutely don't want Sherlock. That's like the worst timeline. Yeah, there's really nothing. Damn it. Dude, I got Medusa so many times when I was rolling for the new 3-star caster. Like, I just, so many Medusa coins in a short period of time. 10 HP Destiny, yeah, or minus 10 HP on Destiny. Okay, David coins are nice. I'll take that. Green can't read this, just get Ku. Thank you for the 15-month resub though. And yeah, hopefully we do just get Ku. We only got 4 tries left, unfortunately. But they're just a few summon tickets, so I don't have my hopes high. Come on. Oh! Well, how about that? Well, there's 30 coins. Funnily enough, that is not enough to actually get his passive. That's cool though, I'll take that, but that's the second best thing, right? I wanted Ku or Siegfried, right? So that wasn't the best thing, but that is the second best thing, so I'm okay with that. I'm pretty sure he's still a bit shy of... I don't even need that. Chat's gonna give me so much shit, but I don't even need that. I've already got a lot of those. So, and the thing is, I can't make a second MLB K-scope until I get another one, right? Because in my videos, I don't want to use an MLB K-scope unless it's for like Chen Gong solo stuff, right? So I can't use a second MLB. I can't make a super scope until I have an extra one. So I don't really care about that. Because actually, I think that is enough for me to get a second super scope. Oh, well, oh, there we go. There's a passive, boys. So you just get lucky. Just throw 9 summon tickets at a rate up and get the 4-star twice, right? That's all you gotta do. And now people are gonna want me to do the 3 SQ there, but I'm not. I might do it, but I don't need it. So I'll just save the SQ for now. Well, how about that though? No Kus, but got enough for our first passive. Now, honestly, in this fight, it'd be better to get the Anti-Saber passive because it makes every single action we do better. But you're not gonna fight Sabers enough. I don't know though. Let me think about this. Maybe the Anti-Saber one is better. And here's why: you don't solo with Siegfried a lot anyway, so you're not caring too much about the extra attack. And if you're using Siegfried, you're probably doing it because of anti-dragon stuff. And yeah, a lot of dragons are sabers. And so it means you can use Siegfried against any dragon that is a Lancer, Saber, or Berserker. I'm actually leaning towards his anti-saber when I think about it like that. Because in team play, you're way more likely to use Siegfried when it's just a dragon, more so than if it's a like, oh, I can do his extra attack a lot because I'm going to solo a dragon, right? So I feel like Saber makes a lot of sense, and also for farming, because Siegfried's good for farming now because of his battery, and so now he's good in Lancer stages, Berserker stages, and Saber stages. Yeah, I think for the memes, extra attack is better, because for meming, you're going to solo generally, and if we're soloing, the extra attack is better, because it's more MP gains, more star gen, more damage every turn. But honestly, for more than not, I actually think the Saber is better. Because here's the thing, I will say, for soloing, it is kind of depressing. Because if you buy the Anti-Saber and you're not soloing a Saber, it does literally nothing, right? Where the extra attack always does something. You're always making like an extra star or 2. You're always making a little bit more MP gain. You're always doing more damage. So I don't know, this is tough. This is really tough. Like, for fighting Richard, both of these are really good. And it's because, although this one would be better, it's not that big of a difference because you're going to extra attack every turn, right? The reason why I'm leaning towards the Saber is for not this fight, but for just, you know, all the other stuff out there, right? If you are shooting Artoria in the face or, you know, just basically, it's nice to be able to see any dragon that's a Lancer and be like, Siegfried's going to be super good, or any dragon that's a Saber, then Siegfried's always going to be good, or any dragon that's a Berserker, right? That's a lot of enemies at that point. So it just gives you more options for team stuff. But it is nice to make a few extra stars and stuff. Yeah, okay, I think I'll go Saber. I do really like the idea of being really effective against Dragon Sabers. And again, just for farming, he'll be good against Sabers, Dragons, or no. It is weird that I'm doing this though. I almost never do these two. It's normally the first two. Unless the third skill is Berserker. Yeah, my level 1 Siegfried will get these two things unlocked inherently. He also gets his buff quests done automatically. Well, yes, obviously you can make anyone a dragon with George, but some boss fights are just not going to allow you to bring George. Now, George is one of the easier units to bring, because he's just good, right? Having a taunt is good in so many boss fights. But every once in a while, there's a boss where like taunts are just shit, right? Like sometimes they're not good. That's not common, but you don't want to be like, oh, I absolutely have to work with George, just because every once in a while George won't work. I used like 45 summon tickets for the 3-star caster, and I got him once, and I got nothing else. I got no coups. I got no golds, like nothing really happened at all. It was just a lot of CEs and shit. And really what I wanted was coups. I want coups really bad. If I get one coup copy, I can get to 118. Okay, so we have the mats, but we don't have the QP. I'll have to deal with that later. That'll have to do for now. QP always is gone now. QP is so much harder these days than it used to be, even with the new daily, and it's just because of the coin system. Like, the coin system has just... It is insane how much QP you have to sink into it now. It sucks. Like, QP, I was getting to the point before the coin system where I had pretty much finished most of the units I really cared about. Because here, how do I explain this? The coin system made it so all of your old units that used to be finished and would not drain you of anything, all are liabilities again, right? All of those old units, like my Billy, my Ku, my Mori, all these units that have just been sitting there at 10, 10, 10 forever and finished and level 100 and are done, right? That army of units that I had completed, all of a sudden isn't completed now. And a lot of the low stars you're going to get, you know, passives for from time to time from FP summon and all that. It's a huge hit to your QP. And also, you're still obtaining new units, and these still need the generic use that your QP was for anyway, right? So, yeah, it's rough. Siegfried really doesn't need any NP gain whatsoever, so, I don't need to do like the chain, but I don't even need to do the art chain. I need to just not kill this golem. Lost, what kind of interest is on that, eh? Also, how much QP do you even have, Lost? I suspect you don't have that much. Unless you've been farming like a son of a bitch. I figure you're having some issues too. You know, at this point, I might as well go for 200%. If I have starting NP, I might as well embrace it. And 200% is more anti-dragon damage. I was hoping that Golem's defense up would keep him alive, but, because it's a big defense up. I have 2 billion? Damn. Okay, I don't think we're going to quite get 200%. But I'll go for it, and maybe the overkill, and we still make decent stars there. Oh, we could crit. Come on, come on. Ugh. Ugh. Surely you just gained... That's like a 16% damage bonus if I had made that. which, you know, that's not that big of a deal, but it kind of makes up for a low-high roll, right? That basically guarantees a high roll. Because the extra 16% is kind of like what your NP would be like if it high rolled and didn't have the overcharge. I could do my first skill, but I don't think that's worth... like that, I don't think that's worth it. Is it? I mean, it's nice to use it early to get the attack up and to get the NP gain buff. Like, that is nice, right? It does let you hit really hard. But it doesn't, it seems like an excuse to just get the 200%. I mean, you do get the attack up, and you do get the NP gain up, and then you can do art, and you have double NP gain buff. The thing is, the battery is worth more than the gain. And so, like, if you're wanting to NP a second time, right, while your third skill is still up, you are more likely to accomplish that if you second skill next turn. But you might be able to do it either way. If you can do it either way, then you should actually cast the skill now. Okay, fine, that convinces me. Might be the worst battery usage though. Like a full time. That is so shit. I really want to do Buster though with all this attack up, but we're gonna need to focus on NP game for playing it this way. I tell you what though, when you do BBB, you get that first card Buster bonus for your extra attack. You get the 3-of-a-kind bonus for your extra attack. You get the attack up from your first skill for your extra attack. You get the attack up from Golden Sumo for your extra attack. And then if you do have the passive for extra attack boost, that is, I mean, your extra attack is like another NP. It's going to be super powerful. Look at that, we went back to 50% right there. That's crazy. Okay. What's the order here? I think I heal without doing the boost, and I do Buster, Art, and then I can do my third skill next turn. Though I'm passing on that 50%. Okay. This is kind of weird, but I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna do that. And we don't crit with the 50%. Okay, thanks, game. Also, I underestimated our NP gain there massively, and I could have done a quick attack. Now, I'm incentivized to do my Buster here. However, we're going to have triple NP gain buff for this turn. Ooh, that's tempting. But healing is good because not dying is good. Icy, thank you for the 18 months. I appreciate it, man. How you doing? Icy, definitely 23. I think we do art because I don't think it's gonna come down to our healing. I think it's gonna come down to our damage. And getting another NP is more damage. It is pretty cool having this much NP gain. Boy, he's gonna be busted if you're doing over in beach stuff. Because you'll be looping your NP, and then you're just getting NP gain buff and NP gain buff and NP gain buff. So if you can sneak in an art card, it'll be massive. And if the team is giving you stars and it's an art crit, let's get out of here. We are NPing quite a bit. Alright, we definitely want to heal now, though. So... do I do Art, Buster, Art? I think I do. That is such a joke of a turn, but it allows me to get good NP gain and then get my heal. Because healing for 2000 is really good. I probably could have done, though. No, I think that was best, just for the heal. Okay, I don't like the boss critting. Don't really want to do my third, or my second skill until I have heal boost. You know what I could have done? I could have done Buster, the other Buster card, and then Art Buster. That's what I could have done. That's what I did last time, actually. because I would have done more damage. I overcharged anyway, and then if I was short, I could have batteried. Now, however, though, doing it this way allows me to battery next turn if I want to. But I don't know, that's tricky, because casting it now means I might be able to cast it again at the very end. I think I save it on this one. That's tricky. Yeah, with how much NP gain we had, we didn't have to go that hard on NP. But it would have been close, because Buster Art Buster is literally trash NP gain. But I think we could have gotten away with it, and that was the extra damage. Like, I don't even care about the gain overcharge, what I care about is the damage. So I tell you what, our damage is pretty slow. I'm glad there's a lot to think about, though, for Siegfried. I actually rather like that. Let's see. We don't... Our NP gain should be fine from getting attacked. We do like one art card. So I want to heal boost. But I think Buster... I almost want to switch my my Star Bomb around, because whenever I get these turns where I can make stars, I need to also heal boost, so I don't do this one with the 4 Star Bomb on it. I mean, I guess I could just not heal boost. Do I? Yeah, you know what? I don't think I need to worry that much about heal boost at this point. I think I can focus on damage. And stars equal damage. Or potential damage. That might have been a wee greedy. He had double buff. He'd had a bad time. Okay, I think BBB on this one. Because we got anti-dragon attack up, and then an okay crit chance. Hey, Dr. Deus, thank you for the 13 months, dude. Thank you, man. Appreciate the resub. Who's icy? Oh, I wonder who could this mysterious, strangey icy but not quite 23 be? Also, I can't help it, you didn't make anything capital in that name. Okay, but could we not shoot little dragon pellets at me? So I think we are gonna win roughly with our next NP. Now last time we kind of fucked up by focusing on NP gain, but we're way ahead of where we were last time. So we'll heal boost the baby heal.
Yes.
And then if we don't get our NP here, we'll just focus on damage from this point on. We might get it here depending on what the dragon does. Nope, not quite. Close. Yeah, we win next turn. As long as we don't die. Honestly, because of that, I should just do the baby heal again. Because we are absolutely going to win next turn. I think I could have won by this turn. If I played really optimally throughout, I could win by that turn. Maybe even a turn before that. Like, well, okay, if I played optimally, we would have won a turn before this. But if we had gotten off, if we were lucky and optimal, if we were lucky and optimal together, we could probably win 2 turns faster. Okay, well he's obviously dead there because we have Buster up anti-dragon, so he dead. And now it's faster because last time he had got his NP again. So we're noticeably faster on this one because of the Saber boost. Yeah, I've had a 70 Siegfried for quite a while actually. I grailed him a really long time ago. But yeah, if he was 100, he'd be even stronger for this. I tell you what though, that first skill buff of his now makes him better for like all content, but it really makes him good against dragons. Like, there's so many bonuses going in one place. Alright, let's fight Lobo, which is an absolutely abysmal time to use Siegfried. There's literally nothing about it that's good for him. It's not a Saber, so no passive bonus. It's not a Lancer or Berserker, so no counter class. It's not a Dragon. And the gimmicks there are really obnoxious, so it's really bad for him. It really doesn't get much worse than that. Obviously, there's harder bosses in terms of what they do, but in terms of like what you're fighting... Oh yeah, and it's single target when he's AoE. So it's a really bad fight for him, so if he can perform well there, then that'll be quite good. Let's give him some basic command codes for the fight, just because it is kind of an obnoxious fight and it is so bad for him. I think it's fair to give him some stuff. No Yang CE though, definitely not... Gotta work harder than that. What am I doing? He's grailed. Anti-defense buff is always good. What really makes the fight easier is if you give your support units in the fight defense removal as well, like Shin Gong or Hans or whatever. I guess we could do the anti-defense buff on this one as well. Star Bomb on Art's not as good in team play. I mean, it's still good, but... Alright, that ought to do it. Could give him Pierce and Vulnerability, but that kind of helps too much, I feel. I think this is a fair shake right here. Do that. Actually, put that on Art. Yeah, definitely put that on Art, with the way we're gonna play him. The heal boost is still fine, but I think it's better to focus on gain. And then we either do a baby heal or Star Bomb. Actually, you could do that heal on quick, really, but we'll do Star Bomb. That way, if you do decide to use his quick card, you're really getting a burst of stars. Alright, I actually might keep Siegfried in that slot because I like Siegfried a lot. And now he's actually pretty handy. I mean, obviously I've got Mordred and stuff, so I think people would probably go with that instead, but well, it's not like we're gonna get to do any of the Area 51 stuff for a while, and my monitor is freaking the hell out. Work with me. One thing I wish, though, is they had just done more with David in the earlier stories. It's kind of weird that we're not gonna really know anything about him until like 5 seconds before the story's over. And Dark Claw is here. Thank you for the 14-month, man. Everybody resubbing today. Thanks, guys. Who do you prefer, Sigurd or Siegfried? Siegfried. I do like Sigurd just fine. Like, he's really cool, but I've always liked Siegfried more. I like the design better. He was the OG. His design is more like classical fantasy anime. Where Sigurd's kind of got a modern, you know, shot in the arm, which I don't really like. I still like Sigurd in spite of that, though, because the voice actor's cool and his character's cool and everything, so yeah, they're both good, but Siegfried's a bit cooler in my opinion. Okay, let's go way the hell down here. Yeah, actually, I expect we're not going to spend very much time in Area 51, which is actually a pretty big disappointment because they built into it so much. But I think what's going to happen is you're going to spend like 2 0 AP nodes, right? No battle nodes in Area 51 at the start of Lost Vault 7. And it'll be a really long, just like story blah 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 thing. And then you know that's it. And maybe that you have like one fight there with some like weird security or something funky. But it's just going to be a quick little thing, and then you're going to go to whatever Lost Vault 7 is about. And some people think it'll be like a mini story or a prologue or something, and it could be, but I don't think they're going to make it an event. It's too important, I think, for them to make it an event. And we already know the next main story though is Lost Belt 7 because you can see it on the map. So. Yeah, Archer Moriarty has been buffed several times, but none of his buffs have ever been good enough. And Frenzy Chaos with the 34-month resub. I just got myself a new PC. Also, here's another free Prime sub. Yes, awesome, dude, though. Congrats on the new PC. Hopefully it runs good and all that. Always like the new, I always liking a new PC in terms of, like, it running, you know, like, with new parts and, you know, good specs and all that. You know, that's great. But I always hate having to set up everything, right? You gotta install a million things and get drivers and get Discord and all the that stuff I never like. But it is nice to get new tech. Actually, I would say Fate does hate NA. It's kind of obvious. They always make everything from NA really shit or weird. And they keep doing things like every single president combined can barely equal one servant. And there's just a lot of stuff Natsu has said throughout the Natsu-verse that is just kind of like slants at NA. It's kind of annoying. And like they set stories in NA all the time, but they never really use NA figures, right? We barely have any. You know, there's no, like, you don't even have, like, the most famous people from American history, like George Washington, right? And they're not going to. And they really implied that George Washington can't be a servant, which is just insane. But, like, when you look at how prevalent North America is on the globe and whatnot, and how little they've done for NA and NA characters and stuff, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Meanwhile, you have like a million Greek servants and Japanese servants. I mean, for God's sakes, you have Awawa and Sei as playable characters, right? Those are incredibly obscure characters, right? Meanwhile, we don't have George Washington, you know, let alone all the gunslingers and characters like that, right? So it's pretty silly. Yeah, so the Koreans obviously are getting slanted, but that's because there's a lot of issues between Korea and Japan even to this day, so... But yeah, no, I believe that, and also, like, Type Moon is just, they never localize their games unless a publisher beats them over the face with it. That's obvious. If you follow Type Moon from their inception to now, they have never put any effort into North American stuff. Actually, quite the opposite. They seem to go out of their way not to release their stuff in North America, even when, like, publishers and people around them want them to do it. I mean, it took them so long to release FGO stateside. It took them forever. Right, which is just stupid, right? Almost no other game does that in that field. Even back then, they have consistently been shits to North America. And see, to be fair to Australia, obviously it sucks that they don't have anything, but they are also very obscure on the world stage, unfortunately. But they should still get something regardless. At least they don't, like, insult Australia, where they insult North America pretty often throughout various Fate stuff. I mean, Siegfried was not the worst 4-star before anyway, so nothing's changed. Almost like I have a tier list for this. And most of the things on the tier list have not changed, or if they have, it was fairly minor. Well, the thing about EU, it's not so much that they don't care, it's that... Because they actually put more stuff from the EU in, like, Fate stuff than most other areas. It's that they don't think it's worth making a separate client for it, because they're like, you know, smaller user base, and most of them are playing the NA version anyway, so fuck it. And then they don't want to deal with EU laws to put it on their app store, so that's why. Which does suck, but, you know, it really isn't that hard to download the North American version in EU. Like, it does not take that much effort, but it is annoying that you have to jump through some extra hoops. But yeah, it's mainly because they don't want to deal with EU laws and whatnot. And also, they're not going to make a separate version for EU, because it's like, what, that's going to be 4 years behind, right? What do you, like, how would you even run it, right? It just doesn't make sense anymore. Yeah, some of the lower ones did get buffed, but a lot of them didn't as well. And like you did get a very significant buff. That one was big. But it's obviously not enough to take you from like the very bottom to the very top or anything like that. Yeah, you could you could get just the NA client on the EU App Store, but again, they're not going to deal with EU laws to do that, so it's never going to happen. Unless, you know, the laws change or FGO changes. Okay, let's get back to business here. So, George seems like a good idea because George is good in this fight anyway. Like, a lot of times we end up not bringing him just because we don't want to make the enemies NP so easy to handle, but kind of an obvious pick here. Now, as nice as Qin Gong is, I actually might go Hans just to keep George a bit healthier. I mean, Qin Gong does that too, though, with his defense buff. So, Qin Gong doesn't give us the crit buff. The taunt's nice, the crit down's nice. The Buster Up is nice, but Hans could give us Overcharge, which is more anti-dragon, gives us a heal. The thing about Hans, though, it's kind of hard to work in the NP because of the evade on the boss. So let's stick with Qin. We'll do that. Well, I wouldn't say it's unlikely that they're going to add PvP because Aniplex is still going to want it, and you know, money is money, and PvP would make them money in the short term. Might lose the money in the long term, but it'd make them money in the short term, and companies often do that kind of thing. And but anyway, hell, wanting to get PvP in might have been part of why Aniplex took over, right, and why DW got the boot. So, and if that was the case, it'd probably have taken them more time to implement it because it was. Let's be honest, implementing a PvP and FGO, even if they wanted to do it, is a shit show, right? It'd be a shit show to add it. And and with how incompetent the dev side of things has been on various things, you could see whatever work DW messed around with PvP might have just completely fallen short and just not giving them anything, right? So when the Aniplex takes over, they have nothing to work with and they have to start from scratch, right? And they may well have started from scratch and they may well be working on PvP right now. It could be. I hope not. I desperately hope not. But just because it's been a while, I wouldn't say it's off the table. I think, unfortunately, it's always going to be on the table. Just because it is so much potential money. That I think it's something they're always going to be trying to do. I mean, just look at like how cash shops and gacha systems have kind of crept into normal games. Right, like on PC and console, and not just that kind of stuff, but like what FIFA's been doing for a long time, and various DLC practices that used to be unacceptable, but that now are acceptable. And I remember like pre-order bonuses, you know, used to be really scuffed at, but now they're really standard. Right? These things, the devs and publishers are always like testing the waters and trying to get away with more bullshit. And it's the same thing in an individual case, like an FGO. The devs are going to try to get away with as much scummy bullshit as they can, but they have to try to balance it without not pissing off the player base. And, you know, PvP is definitely part of that, right? A lot of other stuff is too, like the coin system and all that, but they're always looking for ways to try to squeeze the players harder and milk the whales more and that kind of stuff. So I think PvP is always on the table. It's just a matter of when they feel like they can pull it off. So I almost want to go with this. It barely does anything, but it makes his NP's defense up a little bit higher, which is kind of nice, and it gives him HP. But honestly, I could just give him a defense up CE. Like, we can probably get George's NP really easily here. No, we'll do that. Let's just get our first NP pretty quick. I don't mind that. We'll just do 2030, because I can't even think of anything else that's useful here. I mean, there are so many business practices that are just completely industry standard now that people used to just freak out about. Like, if some of the stuff that's done today in like every video game was done like 10 years ago, people would be going absolutely ballistic. But people have just been worn down and they just don't care anymore. Like that's just what it is. I've seen it like very clearly when it comes to like pre-orders and DLC practice and that kind of stuff. People just have slowly been worn down, and things got slowly normalized. But yeah, it does kind of suck, and honestly, a lot of like trade laws and just business laws, they're not necessarily for trade, but like any laws that govern, you know, digital sales and that kind of stuff, they haven't kept up, right? Most of them are from like the fucking 50s and 60s and crap. That's not up to date with like Steam and you know, all the online stuff. It's completely behind, and most of the big publishers and stuff, you know, they lobby now. They don't want the laws to change. So it's going to be a long time. Like, a lot of the companies are running circles around the laws. And so there's a lot of scummy stuff that just shouldn't be allowed. And it's not allowed in a lot of other areas of sale, like versus like companies versus customers and stuff. Okay, so this is fine. Although, honestly, I might actually taunt Chen Gong at some point to get him killed so I can try to keep George alive and then potentially do his NP a second time. That's hard to accomplish. The only way you could really do that is if you brought in MASH, but I like to not use MASH here because it just makes it too easy. Hey, boy, almost 4 years, god damn. How you doing, though? Is this even worth trying? Because if Chen Gong doesn't die first, this won't do a damn thing. Maybe Asclepius is better then, though. Like, more burst healing. Really give George a giant shot in the arm. Okay, I'll try that. And then at the end, I guess just do that for the buff removal. Either that or you don't bring a unit at all. I'm tempted to bring Anniversary Blonde here, but I'm gonna go heal because I need to keep George alive. Well, I want to keep George alive. Yeah, I know a lot of countries out there have actually banned a lot of the nonsense, but it's not just like gacha nonsense and loot box nonsense and all this gambling stuff, right? It's just like DLC practice and you know, all kinds of stuff like that. There's just a lot of, you know, really scummy stuff in video games these days. Let's see. Also, that is a terrible comparison. Like, junk food is nothing compared to like gambling, and this is a fact, by the way. Now, like, all companies do this to an extent, but there are a lot of companies actually that aren't, you know, online and stuff. Actually, there is a lot of like regulation that prevents them from getting like too scummy with like mental stuff, right? Because a lot of companies hire people that are like psychologists and stuff to basically help them manipulate people, right? And you'll see this in like grocery stores, and like casinos don't have clocks, and so you lose track of time. These companies are scummy as fuck and will try to do whatever they can to manipulate things. But there's a lot of laws in place that really limit things that you can do, especially with things like gambling, right? You don't have, like, from chips, the same kind of stuff, the kind of psychological manipulation that's happening with like loot boxes and crap. That is absolutely not the same thing. Now, if those companies could do it, they would, right? And actually, in the olden days, that happened. The companies found out that gambling plays into a lot of like psychology with humans, and they tried to incorporate gambling into so much stupid crap that it had nothing to do with, and then it got so bad that it got banned like everywhere and not allowed to put gambling in things that have anything to do with minors and, you know, outside of, you know, very designated areas and whatnot. Those laws exist, but video games have just completely gotten around them because of digital stuff. It's not about like people having the option to buy unhealthy things or to do, you know, stupid things with their time. It's about just straight up manipulation of people, and especially young people, right? And video games do it in like spades, right? It's insane how much video games try to manipulate young people. You know, it's absolutely not the same thing as somebody like buying cigarettes or junk food or something like that. That's a terrible comparison. Okay, when do we want to taunt, though? So I want to do this right now, even if I don't taunt. That's easy. I can actually NP with Siegfried right now, but I would like to turn the boss into a dragon. Okay, I don't think we taunt just yet. I'd like... well, if I taunt, I want him to be able to live 3 turns. Which I think he can do, and also I can evade him at some point. Because the evade doesn't do anything for the NP. I think I want Chen Gong to die to the boss's NP. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So we save that taunt. So... actually, maybe I shouldn't have used Chen Gong's skill then. Just so I could, like, evade and then taunt. But I can always use it later. Alright, well, let's see how much damage we take here. I wonder if I do Siegfried's skill right now, because I'm probably going to have to cast it next turn. And if I do it now, I can put it on cooldown. But I'll waste 1 turn of the attack up, and I think I value that enough to not do it. So, let's go with just some Stargen. But it's not like the food industry doesn't do scummy stuff. They do, obviously. Like, you open a bag of chips and it's mostly air. And obviously, to some extent, you actually it needs to be that way because of packaging, but they take it pretty far. And you have, like, water bottle companies get, like, super min-maxy about finding, like, a shape on the bottle that makes it look like it's more water than it actually is, and stuff like that. There's a lot of manipulation like that, but it has a much smaller effect than, like, the psychological stuff that video games are getting away with these days, especially because a lot of video games are aimed at a younger audience. Okay, might as well do this for, like, a little safety net on George. We get, like, triple buster crit. Okay, so we do this, and we do this, and we do this, and we do this. Just fire everything. So I guess we're gonna have George get rid of the evade. That's kind of sad, but I think that's the best way to do this. What if Lobo doesn't want to be a dragon? Well, too bad he's a dragon dog. You can't even resist the traits, like it's not a resistible debuff. Wow, 264. Fuck, if I hit, we were so close to breaking right there. That's crazy. Lobo, don't do that. He just did double defense buff. And now I can't, like, do anything. This turn is so bad. I guess we just make some stars. What a joke of a turn. Dude, that damage is insane, though. For AoE, and he's not even a dragon. I mean, he is a dragon, but he's not inherently a dragon. That is so good, dude. He's a fucking 4-star. I'm gonna have to make a Siegfried video. I just made, like, a big editing video, and so I didn't want to, like, do another one, but hang on, I have to do another one. Like this buff is really strong, and dragon memes are fun, so. See, look, he clears his debuffs when you break his bar, but he can't clear the trait. Oh fuck, it wore off though, damn. Well, this is awkward. I kind of need to have Chen Gong die now, which means the boss can NP anyone, but then Asclepius can be there. I could... Let me think about this. Man, that's unfortunate timing. Okay, yep, you know what I should have done is I should have given Chen Gong NP charge on death. That would have been really good. Because I've got Siegfried's NP, but I kind of want to wait to use it. The thing is, I don't want George to taunt next turn because I don't want George to die. Because George needs to NP. So I can do this though. Actually, I guess I will taunt because I want to get my NP from him and hitting me. I could probably get it without though. Because we have the NP gain buff. And then we could always get battery from... Yeah, but I'd like to save the battery for the next one. Do I want to evade here? No. What do I want to do with Siegfried? Doesn't particularly matter. I'm gonna throw the heal away. Siegfried's pretty worthwhile these days, and with that buff he just got, I'd say pretty easily. He's a pretty easy pick. Good for farming, good for challenge quest stuff now. He already was kind of okay for challenge quest stuff. But now you got the whole George synergy is even better, so... Okay, now I could do Asclepius' thing if I wanted to give George guts. It'd be unlikely that he would live after that, though. It's possible, but, you'd probably just take the last dragon here. That sounds like a fucking, like, anime name. Fucking St. George and the Last Dragon, let's go. Okay, so bang, bang, and bang. I like how we keep using George's NP to ping off an evade shield. It's true, there are a lot of things that have NP charge, but you might not have a AoE Saber that has NP charge, and if you have Siegfried, there you go. And then you also get this dragon shit, which is crazy. And you get anti-debuff. I mean, Siegfried's got a lot going for him now. He's got good damage, he's got easy access to NP, and because of all the NP gain buffs, he can actually repeat NP decently well, where like some of the other ones have a harder time with that. You have anti-debuff, you have a big heal. These are all quite nice. Some enemies are dragons inherently. Okay. Like an NP again, we are like so set. And if I just got the deck just shuffled, so if I just gotten a goddamn art card, I would I'd have my bloody NP here. This is gonna be the saddest NP gain ever, but I'm doing it because maybe if Lobo hits me, it makes the difference. Damn it, if he had hit Siegfried there, we'd have it. I think that's, damn it, man. Look how close we are. Oh, thanks, game. Thanks. Giving me literally every bit of NP gain now when you couldn't have given me one card. Even the quick card before would have been enough for, us to NP again. Man, we're gonna lose so much damage because we lose this buff. And we lose the dragon, so that's a massive hit to our damage there. Fuck you, game. Alright, well, we'll just do that, I guess. I'm so sad, dude. We would have killed him next turn. Oh yeah, hit Siegfried now. Give me the NP game now. Taunting me. What can I do here? It'll still be okay damage, but I feel like what's his name? Asclepius should have been another unit to speed things up and focus completely on gas. I didn't think we'd be able to win really, like, I knew we'd win like kinda quick, but we could have won like really quick here if I had focused on that completely. I worked in a decent chunk of survivability. So if I do this in like a video, I'd do Anniversary Blonde. Like 1,000,000% I would do Anniversary Blonde. Yeah, I would do Anniversary Blonde, I'd probably do NP on Death on Qin Gong, and then I'd probably make the unit that comes in, like maybe even Shakespeare, honestly. Like just gas, and I think we would have won by now if I had done those things. Guess I could NP on Leonidas just to make stars here. But it's actually gonna take forever to do what's left just because we have like nothing. Although I guess Siegfried's skills aren't that long of cooldowns, so once they're back, we'll just kill with those. But it's gonna be quite a few turns of just twiddling our thumbs here. I mean, why wouldn't I keep this boss? Oh fuck, our attack buff had worn off from when Guts procced. That's unfortunate. How does Siegfried keep getting hands like this? Where he gets no NP gain whatsoever, and then he gets all of the NP gain. Like that happened 2 deck shuffles in a row, where like all 3 of his, because he's got quick double art, and he got art, quick art twice. Dude, look how many turns this is taking though. Like we got him super low, and then we're just sitting here doing 0 damage. But it's kind of because of Asclepius. Hey look, this came back. Honestly, I might as well use it just to get the damage. Alright, for the love of God, game. Give me my NP. There we go, okay. We can finish him off here. We may not get the anti-dragon stuff, but we're still gonna have a lot of buffs. Leonidas can give us the attack up here. That's so funny that Leonidas can do that. I don't even know, I've known he could do that for a long time, but I've never thought to use him with Asclepius before. Because that actually makes it really easy to do a double attack buff like that. And that's actually a lot of damage right there. Like, even though the boss is not a dragon, we're actually gonna do quite a bit. Let's see, I guess we'll do... There's really no point in doing Leonidas' NP, even though it's kind of cool, but I guess we'll just go bam, bam, bam here. You could also just give him a Guts CE. That's another way you can get a double. Alright, is this enough? We got 3 attack buffs, Buster buff, but no dragon stuff. 107. I forgot how much he had. Okay, that got him. Not bad, but we can win that so much faster if we just don't mess up with the setup. Just more gas. Like you don't really need any defense with how much damage he does. That's surprising though. That really is. Like that's strong. Yeah, this is the map theme from CCC. I'm not using an emulator, I just have a mouse hooked up to my phone. Pretty brute force. Alright, let's see, what else can we do? We could do, I know what we're doing. Oh, I know what we're doing. Not that one. This is going to be so ridiculous. Okay, we're gonna just go super ham here. Like, we're gonna get big damage. Lost, are you still here? Can we get, Ox King or Merlin's Bond CE? Ox King's preferable, but, whatever works. Although a lot of people have Merlin with Ox King, but no one slots it, unfortunately. It's always Bond gain or stuff like that. Shit, I don't think Lost is here. Well, we can just go without it. It's a bit of a hit to our dam. Oh, here we go. Our Juno with the bailout. Oh, Beastie's got it too. Okay, that's good. Alright, what can we do here? So, ideally, we want Siegfried with Black Grail. And then also, ideally, we want Qin Gong with his Bond CE, but I don't know if I can actually make that work. You need a lot of battery for that to work out. But Qin Gong gives you a 20% buster up, which is pretty awesome. Gives you 70% total if he has this. But he has to be on the field as well. So we're gonna wanna work in our esports Merlin. Someone's gonna wanna have Ox King. The ending field we would want to be that, because it's the two Bond CEs. So maybe he dies from Poster Girl, although he's got 12,000 health, that's a bit rough. We could Qin Gong, Waver. Waver's nice because he gives battery to Qin, and Qin's probably gonna need it. Okay, let me see here. The real question is, can we get Merlin killed? Also, Poster Girl is just really expensive if you're using this many 5 stars. Like team cost. I don't know why people always suggest Chiron. Chiron is such a bad support unit for this kind of thing. Like, he's good in a practical setting where you're fighting a Saber and you want him to do damage to the Saber and then buff someone, but he gives such a small amount of damage up. Like, you're better off with just like a million other units. Now, I guess... Okay, hold on. Do I have his passive? Okay, so he essentially has 30% battery because he's going to give 20% to himself, so 30, so he needs 70. There's units, though, that give more damage than Chiron that are going to die faster. Like Pen. Like, Chiron is just never good for a setup like this. Unless you're doing, like, some kind of setup when you just have no way to make stars and you cycling and you can do the star thing, but it's pretty specific and there's probably better ways to do even that. Okay, so boom, boom, and then whatever unit is here will get switch Mystic Code for Merlin. So what would this one need to be? The problem at this point is team cost. So Matahari would be nice. The problem is there's no way she's going to NP because she's getting switched out. So Matahari still adds an okay amount of damage, but there's probably better. Also, then you have to deal with magic resist, and I'd rather not do that. Let's see. So how much? Hold on. What's our team cost? So we can do. I think we can do a 5 stars, no CE. But wait, we want a CE because we want Ox King. Yeah, this unit needs to have Ox King. Oh, hold on. Can you do something like this? I think Ox King is a 5 star though. Yep. So they'd have to be a 3 star or lower. Or be better than what Ox King is giving you, which probably won't happen. So there's Caesar, which is okay, but that's not amazing. There is Matahari, because she's still 40% if she does an NP. But again, magic resist. Saber Gilius, yeah, right. Let's see. Actually, Leonidas is okay. Australia sour Skittles changed recipes about 10 years ago. My vitamin C tables are more sour. Wait, what? But thank you for the bits. Dude, I miss the Twitch mode in Dead Cells. People in chat could be the chicken, and they got that really fun like talk sound when they would say stuff in chat, and it would pop up over the chicken's head, and people would just say like bear facts or whatever. It was great. Trying to think though, what can we do here? Like Matahari is actually the best thing I can think of, but I really don't want to deal with magic resist. And if someone else is like almost as good but doesn't have to deal with magic resist, I kind of want to do that. Let's see what Leonidas. I think he's 25%. Am I crazy, or is he just 20%? He's 25. So they gave him a bit of a nod there. That's kind of cool. So he'd be 25, and then the Ox King, but I think Caesar is better than that. I mean, I really don't like Vortigern in FGO, but I still hate Van Gogh more. Man, I might just have to do Matahari. Like, Pinth with Ox King would be nice. I mean, I could do this. Like, he's 10-10 on the skills that matter. Yeah, sure, Shakespeare's 40. I don't know why I'm forgetting about Shakespeare. Yeah, I guess Shakespeare. And that's another battery if we need it. Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't thinking about Shakespeare. Like, I'm just delusional. Okay, this looks pretty good. It's just Merlin has to die. That's the tricky part. Caesar is really good though if you get his Bond CE, if he's going to be the final unit out, but I don't actually have his Bond CE. Yeah, so that means Shakespeare's actually going to give us 55%. Okay, so I don't think Merlin's going to get one turn, so don't do anything yet. Got 13,000 health. Okay, she actually does decent damage. Ooh, okay. For some reason I thought she didn't hit that hard, but apparently she does. About one turned him. Okay, we want to buff then right now. Okay, NP gain good. Don't think I'm making any mistakes here. Alright, perfect. I guess I could taunt Siegfried just to, I mean, he'll get his NP from Shakespeare if he didn't get it now, but I don't want Chin getting like triple Buster crit. I mean, he's got a lot of defense buffs though. He's probably fine, and we could theoretically stun, but there's just no reason not to taunt. Alright boys, I think we did it all right. We're gonna get some pretty big numbers here. Probably not as much as Sigurd still though, because Sigurd is single target. Sigurd has quite a bit less damage up against a dragon than Siegfried does, like way less. But because he's single target, it don't really matter. And also, Sigurd just has a lot of damage up, like flat, because of the Buster up. Although Siegfried does too. Because he's got attack up and Buster up now. Okay, so we do this. We don't actually need our battery. I guess I'll give it to Siegfried just for the star gen, for the lulz. We actually weren't even close on battery because we had no issues. We still have our own battery skill. Oh, we got to 200%, so that's good. Okay, chat. How much damage do you think his NP is going to do? I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea. That was a lot of buffs. I'm not used to Siegfried with his first skill buff. I don't really have a clue. I'ma say 2 million. I honestly have very little to base that off of, but I'm gonna say 2 million. More than 5. That's more than a nickel. Pretty sure we're gonna beat 800k. Because like you gotta remember, we've been fighting. We haven't been counterclassing up to this point, like all stream. We're fucking counterclassing right now. I was so close. I was so close. I wasn't even 100k off. Look at that 200k non-crit. 203 non-crit. I actually wish we had gotten a crit there because we have a crit buff mixed in there, so it'd be more than double. Jeez, we just did all of her health multiple times there. I was so close to the 2 million, so it was 1.9. That's pretty damn good for AoE though. And honestly, because of low high roll, it wouldn't shock me if you can get over 2 million there. Like if that was a mid roll, that would mean a high roll would be a good bit over 2 million anyway. Okay. We could still win this though. Like we could face tank. We'll have the defense buff because of the dragon thing, and we'll face tank the NP no problem. And we have a lot of NP gain here, art chain, but like winning this is not particularly hard. But I'm pretty sure when we did a setup like that with Sigurd, I want to say he did like 2.5 to like 3 million or something. Although actually we can use the exact same setup for Sigurd, so hold on, let's find out. I gotta say though, being a Siegfried fan, I am enjoying this buff. Also, my Sigurd is the exact same level as my Siegfried, so that's fair. They're both 90. Although he is a lower NP rank, but he is a 5-star, so I think that's fair. And although his other skills aren't 10, his damage up skill is 10, so like his damage is not affected at all. Alright, I think this is all correct. I'm quite sure Sigurd will win this though. Like, just when you're multiplying a single target instead of an AoE, it's a big difference. I don't know what his third passive is, but there's no way it's anti-lancer, so it won't matter. However, I will say that with Siegfried, you do have to keep in mind there is a benefit to being AoE, and that's you're actually hitting multiple opponents, and sometimes you are needing big boy damage, and there's multiple opponents, and maybe one's a berserker, and then one is like an assassin, but you turned that one into a dragon, or it was just a dragon inherently, and the other one's a lancer, so you're counterclassing them. So that can be very good for Siegfried. Okay, generally though, I don't think she's gonna one turn Merlin, so I don't think we buffed yet. Okay, I'd say more times than not, it'll be on turn 2. It is possible that she one turns, especially if she busts her crits. Sigurd's Anti-Saber too, makes sense. But it won't matter in this stage because it's a Lancer. It is cool. Oh shit. What are you doing? And you know if I cast a skill, like I cast one of his damage skills, then he won't die that turn. You had enough of his lip, I suppose. So here's a funny thing, chat. Siegfried, Emiya, and Jack all had like the same default like skeleton work on their sprites day one, which did not look good. I'll put it that way. NA players never got to see Imiya's original animations because they started with his animation update. I guess I do this, but that might make him too tanky. The damage cut, let's see. Oh, I need to put it in fast mode. Yeah, Siegfried had like that wide stance nonsense that Imiya had day one. Day one Imiya was still a thing when I was playing back in the day. Look how much less damage he took, but that's because we have the skill, but also she just didn't do as much. I think I have to wait another turn? That really messes things up. We're a little too tanky now. This sucks. Now I'm having to like really guess when he's gonna die. I think ideally Merlin doesn't get one turn. Okay, dude. I guess we buff here and just hope for the best, and if he doesn't die, we just have to reset. As bad as day one Imiya is, it's not as bad as day one Artoria. It's not even close. That's another one where NA started off with their animation update. I can't even believe how bad the NP animation for Artoria was day one. It's all day one NPs are a little scuffed. Hers is so much more scuffed. Because some of them actually aged kind of okay. Like obviously they're not even close to as good as modern ones. But like everyone makes fun of Darius's. Darius's looks fine. Like people always make fun of it because it has like a PNG in it. But what do you think the cut-ins are that they're doing constantly? It's literally the same thing. Like it's literally the same thing. Like I actually think Darius's even though Darius's does not look as good as current NPs, it looks way better than other day one NPs. And like Blackbeard's look fine. There's quite a few day one NPs that like yeah they're all right, right? They're not too bad. But day one Artoria, she's like shooting a frisbee out of her eyes for some reason. That's somehow Excalibur. It's like, what the actual fuck is going on? Right, so we're buffing here. That's what we're losing track of what the hell I'm doing. So Siegfried doesn't have battery like Siegfried does, but because of Shakespeare, everyone's name that starts with SH is actually the same person. Please kill. You bitch, dude. Like how she killed Merlin every turn. Turn 1, she killed him. Turn 2, she killed him. But as soon as I actually commit to the turn, then she never did. Both times, turn 1 and turn 2. Who had the best animations day one? Probably Darius. Because the animation set that he uses has aged better than most of them. Like it just you know, meaty smack. It's way better than a lot of the other day one animations. Also because he's such like a monstrous size, the proportions that are fucked up on day one, like the big head syndrome, doesn't really affect him. He looks fine. So his sprite looks fine, his attacks, although clearly don't look as good as stuff now. If you compare them to like Caesar day one and Artoria day one, it's much better. Like him and Leonidas, I would say Leonidas' attack animations are actually decent. See, and it's funny, I've noticed how the player base has changed. People used to not mind Darius's NP and like Spartacus's attack, not Spartacus, Leonidas, excuse me. Leonidas's attack animations. People used to mention how Leonidas actually had kind of good animations for day one. But it's changed, and it's because day one is so old now. You know, day one animations, you know, when people used to talk about this stuff, when they started to notice, right? Because no one talked about it day one, because everyone looked bad day one. But like 2 years in, people started to really notice, right? And that's when the conversations kind of started, maybe a year and a half in, 2 years in. Probably a year and a half in. Anyway, about a year and a half in, you know, that because they were just gradually getting better and better with the new servants, and the gap started to get pretty big. And so people started to notice, right? The gap had gotten large enough that it was like a topic, and animation updates started happening. But back then, people were like, you know, Leonidas' still look pretty good. I remember some of my friends in real life even would say that, like, oh yeah, Leonidas's attacks still look pretty cool. Because compare, seriously, look at Leonidas' attacks and then look at the other day one stuff. His really are better. Anyway, but now that it's been 7 years, the gap between the best of the day one or the worst of the day one, it's like, let's say Leonidas' animations on a scale of like 1 to 100 are like a 15, right? And then like Artoria's day one were like a 9. Now, when the scale, like early on, the scale used to be like 1 to 30, right? The scale used to be 1 to 30. So Leonidas being a 15 was pretty noticeable compared to like Artoria or Caesar being like, you know, an 8 or a 9 or something like that, right? Because it's only 1 to 30, right? The difference between 8 and 15 is kind of noticeable. Now, though, because the animations are so much better and there's so many more units, now the scale is like 1 to 100. So the difference between an 8 and a 15 is like nothing. You like what? That's such a that's tiny, right? It's the percentage is so minor. Everything day one, everyone just universally says super sucks and no one cares. And fair enough, I would say, because the new animations are so much better. So yeah, it's kind of a complicated thing, but that's worth thinking about because there's a lot of things in life that actually end up that way. Where like at one point, you know, something is like on a scale of 1 to 20 or 1 to 30, and something is like an 8 versus a 15, and then as things change, the scale's not like that anymore. But the actual difference between those two things didn't change. It's a perception thing. Kind of a weird example, but like when you're young, when you're like 10 years old, because you haven't lived very long, anytime something happens, or like a bad night of sleep, or just having to wait around for an hour feels so much longer because you haven't lived very long, right? Waiting an hour is like half your life, so it feels like an eternity. Where when you're like, you know, 45, those things don't really mean anything anymore. So it's a perception thing. Okay, Merlin. And there goes my my monitor freaking out again. I guess I try to make as much NP gain as I can here. And by that I mean 1. So as you get older, because so many experiences become routine, but when you're like level 30, when you're 30 years old, you've brushed your teeth so many times, hopefully, that your brain is going to filter that out almost entirely. You probably don't remember how you brushed your teeth last night, chat. You probably did brush. I hope you brushed your teeth last night, but you probably don't remember it at all. Where when you were like 6, you did. Right? That felt like a significant thing at the time. And there's a lot of stuff like that, like eating routine meals, you know, maybe making your bed, taking a shower. There's just so many things by the time you're 30, 40, you name it. You've done it so many times, your brain does not keep track of it at all. It completely filters it out. And that leaves the amount of like impactful experiences per day are a lot less. And so the day seems a lot shorter because you literally aren't experiencing, you're not like present for a lot of the other stuff. So that's like a big thing when you get older. Also, when you get older, you generally sleep or need more sleep and stuff. So your ratio of being awake to sleep is different. There's a lot of little things that play into that. And then again, perception, like I said earlier, you know, new experiences are rarer, and what you have it to reference against is much larger. So, however, so it sounds like, oh god, getting old sucks. And there are things about getting old that do suck, right? You know, your body is not as fit, right? You have more health issues. But, and this is invaluable, you have the opportunity, you're not guaranteed, but you have the opportunity to gain wisdom with almost no cap as you get older. And it's awesome. I very much like being wiser. So as I've gotten older and I've gotten wiser and wiser, I've actually been like really happy with that. It's actually made my life better, I would say. So it's easy to like be negative about aging, but there's a lot of positives that come with it. But wisdom is a dump stat. Okay. I almost can give the crit buff to Sigurd, but I cannot, sadly. Sigurd is a pretty good saber these days as well, because like, even without the anti-dragon stuff, he has big damage, he has big crits, he has anti-debuffs, he's got utility being able to give the anti-debuff to a friendly unit, and that's no joke. There's some boss fights where like you need taunt, but then debuffs from the boss will always hit your taunt and it runs everything, and you can just give the taunt the debuff immunity. Or there's a key unit, maybe the boss when the NP does skill seal, and that's just the worst thing for like what you're doing. And for that key unit that needs to do their skills after the boss's NP, you just give that one unit the debuff immunity. Like that's really good. That's a great utility for challenge quests. Useless for farming, but being able to pick a unit to not get debuffed is it has a lot of uses. And then again, he crits good, he has really high burst damage, and if you are a dragon, it's even better. So there's a lot of really nice positives for Sigurd these days. And he has a little bit of survivability with the guts. Obviously not as much survivability as some of the other units out there, but it's still good. Alright, chat. We've done a similar setup to this before, so theoretically someone should know how much damage this is going to do. But I don't remember, but because we're single target, I'm gonna guess 3.1. Oh hey, look, we actually get to do Merlin's command code to give us an extra 8%, which is nice because I can offset a low roll if we happen to get one. Okay, I don't think I forgot anything. Now, we're not going to get to do the big buster card because we don't have the first buster card bonus, but I want that 8%. People all over the place are guessing, but it's pretty sparing. I might reset here and do a save jump so we can see a few different numbers. Oh, so close to 3 million. So close. We'll definitely get 3 million, depending on low-high roll. Right, it's not on this account, but I need to close that anyway. It's on this one. So that was what? About 2 million on Siegfried and 3 million on Sigurd. Now, it's NP5 versus NP3, but 4-star versus 5-star, I think that's fair. Siegfried was like 1.9 million, it was like 1.91, but because of low high roll, I'm sure he could have gotten to 1 million. So it's roughly, now, it's hard to say though, because Siegfried could have gotten the lowest low roll ever, and Sigurd could have gotten the highest high roll ever, or vice versa, right? Or they could have both low rolled, right? There's all kinds of options there. So it's like possible that like, on average, Siegfried's gonna do like 2.2 million, and Sigurd's gonna do, you know, like 2.9, because then the difference isn't that big. But it could also be like Siegfried actually high rolled, and he's actually gonna do like 1.7 on average, and Sigurd's gonna do, you know, even higher. So, you know, you gotta do it over and over and over again if you really want to get good numbers. Also, to be fair, Siegfried didn't have this. That's so. Actually, I guess we won't use it then. I guess we'll just go without. Yeah, that's an 8% thing, and when you're dealing with this many numbers, 8% can make actually a big difference. So let's be fair. Shame we couldn't skip that to Siegfried. Okay, still 2.9. Which is almost the exact same, but that's without the buff. So actually, we probably just got a better roll. We probably did more damage there if we were lacking Merlin's buff. So I would say roughly there's about 1 million damage difference there, but with Siegfried we never did it twice, so we have no idea. He could have gotten a super low roll or whatever. I think it's fair to say though, roughly it's about 2 million versus 3 million. That's roughly what you're looking at. But yeah, it's single target versus AoE. And with that many buffs, it's I'd say to be expected. I'm pretty impressed though with what Siegfried's been doing. Okay, boys, I think I'm going to wrap up a little early today just because I'm really, really tired. I had to do that video today. I had a doctor's appointment today. I might... I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna relax a bit. I might play a bit of Arknights later, depending on how I feel, but I might just crash for the rest of the night just because if I didn't have to do all the other stuff today, I probably would just keep streaming, but I am fairly tired. I can like feel it. It's been hard for me to concentrate, so I kind of want to just take it easy for today. But thank you guys for hanging out. Definitely need to make a Siegfried video soon because he's awesome now, like holy shit. Let's see. Cairo streaming by any chance? I know he doesn't have time to stream a lot these days, but negative. Well, okay, we're just not gonna raid anybody because I might stream later. Don't hold your breath, but I might stream later. But yeah, I will see everyone later. Thank you for hanging out. Take care.